Yo, 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 it's your bro, True Jew, tapping in with y'all with another message. Look, if y'all been supporting this channel, y'all know your bro, True Jew, was going to have to touch on this. First of all, let's give a round of applause. Yes, let's give a round of applause to the United States Supreme Court for overturning the Roe versus Wade decision. Now, what's the Roe versus Wade for my international supporters and those of you who aren't familiar with it? Well, basically, Roe versus Wade was a decision the United States Supreme Court made back in 1973 that basically ruled that the Constitution of the United States generally protects pregnant women's liberty to choose to have an abortion. Now, I'm so thankful they overturned this after all these years, y'all. You know why? Because it then finally took a woman's legal right to kill away from her. Yes, I said it, and I know it's gonna be some folks that don't like what Bruh True Jew got to say, but I'm speaking for all the real when I say thank you, United States Supreme Court. Now, what gets me about this is you got people all over the nation who are in a hissy fit right now, and they're in a hissy fit because the elder judicial committee, the elders of this nation who are in the judicial position within this country, have made an actual wise decision as far as removing the legal right to murder babies from women and doctors and people who stand to make a large economic impulse from this. Okay, listen, I never agreed with abortion. I'm about to inject my opinion into this real quick. I never agreed with abortion at all. Okay. I always knew that it was murder. I knew that it was killing. And I knew that as long as this country legalized that abortion, that it would be looked upon as something okay by women who were 9 times out of 10 frivolous in their actions. Women who were 9 times out of 10 not thinking before they leapt, or in this case, thinking before they slept. Okay. Now, I've always been an adamant reader of ancient books, ancient texts, the Bible being one of them. One of my favorite verses ever since I was a little boy was Psalm 127, verses 3 through 5. Let me read that for y'all real quick. Children are a heritage from the Most High, offspring a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court. Look, y'all, if the Most High word wasn't made true during this decision, I don't know what was. See, in 1973, you had a lot in this country going on. There was a lot of money flowing from women's rights movements in the feminist movement of the 1970s, which initiated this play by the United States Supreme Court to make that Roe versus Wade decision back then. Well, a lot of those elders, a lot of those individuals whose palms were scratched, they out the way now. And now you have a new infusion of eldership within the judicial system. And these new elders, who we should be respecting as our elders, decided to make multiple decisions this past month, which a lot of the so called nation's politicians and Congress people don't like or appreciate, and they're propagating that propagandized agenda onto the citizens who don't know no better. Okay. Now, one thing I like about this decision, like I told you, is that it removes a woman's right to kill legally. See, in my life, I'm gonna just keep it 100 with y'all like I always do. Brothers, I would suggest you ask a woman before you get with her if she didn't had an abortion or not. Because if you don't, you might be sleeping with a killer. Real talk. You might just be sleeping with a woman with some bodies on her hands and you wouldn't know nothing about it. Now, from a spiritual standpoint, I'm going to touch on the spiritual. I'm going to touch on it in a couple moments. Well, a couple different moments. But this part you got to understand. See, most of the time, these women, they make these decisions based off of frivolous actions in the past. Okay? Sisters, just hear me out. Okay, brothers, hear me out. Now, I'm a father. I have 3 children, and I would never ask a woman or my wife to get an abortion. Never. I don't care how old I am. I don't care what my pockets is looking like. I don't care if I gotta sleep in a tent. I'm never gonna ask my woman to get no abortion. Okay, I had my first child when I was 20. Got pregnant with him, with my wife when I was 22. All right, 22. And listen, if they would have had an abortion with me, True Jew wouldn't even be here right now. Okay, not in this body. And that's the thing, spiritually speaking. See, what these abortions are causing is it's an attack on the avatar that's created that houses the Most High Mama and Papa, the spirit. Okay, the spirit of the Most High within each avatar. And when that body is cut off, the vessel and vehicle that the Most High needs to experience through while in this physical realm is therefore cut off. Now, the soul and the spirit go back to the Most High. During that abortion, okay, the body is what gets killed off. And that spirit's still going to come down. That spirit is still allotted to come down to this earth and experience as the Most High in this human flesh. The thing is, the person who had the abortion, they the ones not going to be blessed to bring that life through. Now, brothers, why I said you need to start asking these women if they had abortions or not, because most brothers want to have babies, believe it or not. It's certain things that get in the way of that experience with a brother and a sister that end up breaking them apart. But for the most part, it start off with tiptoeing through the tulips and whispering sweet nothings in the ear and getting to a place where y'all can have these children and begin to produce the next generation of life, right? Well, bruh, you got to ask her, because what happens is these women, these young ladies, they will kill off the baby through abortion. And then when they think they ready to have that baby, what I've seen is that new baby that's formed as punishment, something usually wrong with it. Something physically is wrong with it, but the spirit is high frequency, okay? But something is usually wrong with that vessel when it come out. And the mama now, as she chose that child to bring forth, has a lifetime of issues to deal with that child because she didn't disclose to you, bruh, that she been having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 abortions before she even got with you. Now, that's just one side of the spiritual thing, okay? But when we talk about numbers and we talk about things that can be substantiated on paper through different studies, as far as why these abortions ain't so cool or what's been happening with abortions since before this decision was overturned, let's look at something real quick. The most frequent official cited reason for abortion in this country was socioeconomic. Did y'all hear me? Socioeconomic. Now, what's the problem with this? The problem is the popular opinion on why abortion should be valid is disproportionately affecting poor women, black women, brown women. Side note, last time I checked, there ain't no such thing as a black woman. And all black woman is deeper melanated complexion shades of brown to lighter complexion shades of brown. So all brown, all melanated women is brown women. So just hear True Jew on this. Okay, so once again, the popular opinion on why abortions is popular and should be is because disproportionately affect poor women, black women, brown women, immigrants, women in abusive relationships, rape victims, women and girls raped by family members, and lastly, women who just didn't make the right or correct choice. Now, my heart goes out to any rape victim or any victim of abuse, first and foremost. That's the one instance where a woman didn't have control over the situation that she was put in. But on the flip side of that, I still don't believe in abortion. In that situation, what a woman is supposed to do and what she should do is carry the baby full term and give the baby up for adoption. That's one of the only cases for adoption that I agree with as well. Now, I know y'all going to be at True Jew for this. Y'all going to be at bruh True Jew for this. But that's why I was made strong, y'all. That's why I was made this man that y'all see before y'all now. Because I know my brothers and sisters who support this channel, I speaks for them, and I speak for people who resonate like me, who see life like me, and who see the situations and ills of this country the same way I do. That's why you resonated to this channel in the first place. So I appreciate y'all support, and I speak for those who don't know how to articulate or speak these types of things for themselves. So I'm not going to leave y'all hanging. Let me be y'all voice in this, and y'all go on and share this message how you need to, but let me help you help yourself. Now, what does socioeconomic mean? Socioeconomic is relating to or concerned with the interaction of social and economic factors. In other words, socioeconomic status is the social standing or class of an individual or group. Now, I don't like this last part of the definition. It is often measured as a combination of education, income, and occupation. Examinations of socioeconomic status often reveal inequities in access to resources, plus issues related to privilege, power, and control. See, that's the part I don't like. See, when I was 22 years old and I got my wife pregnant, we was living in a bedroom. Then we moved into a studio. Then we moved into a triplex. Then we bought our first home. Then we moved from that home, tied our loose ends, and we got hightailed out into the country, where I'm at right now. And every step of the way, we was provided for by the Most High Mama and Papa. Every step of the way, my family never had a day where they didn't have no food on the table, clothes on their back, shoes on their feet, a roof over their head, okay, fresh water to drink. Every single day that I was a part of this family, guiding and leading them as the father, the papa, the man, the husband in this family, they never been without. I started off with very meager means, and I'm still building my manhood acumen up every single day to be the brother that y'all see in front of you now. But not one time did I complain. Not one time did I suggest to my wife she get an abortion. Not one time did I make her feel inadequate in any different way, in any checkpoint of this whole thing we call life when I became one with her. See, this the thing. A lot of people won't go through the process to get to the result that they seek. Okay? And that's another thing. When it comes to these abortions, if a woman, and I got some more reasons why they claiming abortions, but if a woman was frivolous or out there being mischievous with herself, and she end up having a child and getting pregnant or getting pregnant before she had the child, she needs to go on and have that child and learn a lesson. Because like I tell my little ones, I don't tell them don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. I say I bet you won't do that again. When they hit they cell phone something, bump their head, touch a stove they shouldn't have touched, touch the front of the oven when it's hot, and they walking over, they feel the heat, and they still want to touch it anyway, and then I bet you won't do that again. And they say, yes, Papa, you right. Yes, Papa. My children is very smart by the grace of the Most High, Mama and Papa. You hear me? The child know better. I bet she won't do that again. Let her go through that natural birth. I bet she won't do that again if she run around here 17, 16, 17, 18, and too soon to have a child and ain't gotten to a proper situation with a young man to become a wife to him, and that young man ain't wise enough to make her his wife. Y'all better hear me. And this goes back to our culture too. Fathers, we have to stay in our family so that we can raise our children the correct way, so that when it's time for our baby girls to make decisions, when it's time for our young men to get out here and start having children and raising families, we are the example that they see, and we will hold them accountable for the decisions they make. I know one thing, I'm not letting no grandbaby of mine get aborted. Okay. Now I'm not a grandfather. My children are still children. But the point is, if that when that time comes, ain't no none of mine, none of this bloodline here. They not finna be getting no aborted. Okay. Now check this out. This what really got me. I was reading an article on Yahoo News, y'all, and the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League Players Association, they say they strongly condemn the decision, and I quote, a decision that effectively takes away a person's right to make decisions about their own body, a basic human right at the core of every aspect of life, end quote. Do y'all hear me? So what I got to say to that is, if it's at the core of every aspect of life, what about the precious little baby that they got carried around in that womb? What about that baby that needs to be taken care of and protected? What about that baby's decision? Where's that baby's decision at? The WNBA got the nerve to say they are furious and ready to fight. Well, you better put your dukes up, ladies, because this is a decision that ain't going to get overturned again. Listen to this. A fundamental right to make informed decisions about their own bodies. Their own bodies. Like I said, well, what about the life of the fetus? Now, that fundamental decision statement I just made, you know who that was made by? That was from Michelle Obama. Let me read it again. She said, a fundamental right to make informed decisions about their own bodies. Well, like I said, what about the fetus when the heart starts beating at 3 weeks and then at 4 weeks when it's actually detectable by the little baby Doppler? What about then? Let's get some more quotes by Miss Michelle Obama. She also said, this is what our mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers lived through. And now here we are again. Well, listen, Miss Michelle Obama, if our mothers, grandmothers, and great grandmothers didn't live through it, none of us would be here today. They had to live through it so we could have births and babies in this world. Now, check this out. This is the last one. So, yes, I'm heartbroken for the teenager girl full of zest and promise, who won't be able to finish school or live the life she wants because her state controls her reproductive decisions, y'all. First of all, sound like she was living the life she loved to me when she was opening them legs up, being frivolous with all them little boys she was sleeping with. Sound like she was living the life she wanted to me when she wasn't wearing no protection or using no contraception. Okay, that's what it sounded like to me. And second of all, why is she vouching for teenage sexuality? Why is she vouching for teenagers to have sex with each other? We didn't hear none about that teenage sex talk when she was in office and her daughters was getting raised up, unless behind closed doors, that's what she was really about. But didn't none of them pop up pregnant? And if they did she let them have abortions? Well, she must have, because we ain't seen no sign of the baby unless the baby was birthed and they gave the baby away or sacrificed it. I'll talk about that later. But this is what I'm saying. When does a teenager have the right or wisdom to make medical decisions of this magnitude? We know that most people, adults, are not mature in their mind to the 25th or 26th year of their life. Now, 89% of U.S. women reported more than one reason of having an abortion. The most frequently cited reasons were lack of financial preparedness, 56%, partner related, 55%, and interference with future opportunities, 54%. Not the right time for a baby, 36%. So you mean to tell me out of those four reasons, each one of these reasons had to basically do with decisions that was made before them legs were spread open? Okay? Before them legs were spread open, it's financial preparedness. You need to get your house in order before you start bringing these babies in, if that's the case that you're worried about, right? Partner related. This is where the fathers and mothers come in to guide their children to help them make better decisions on the partners that they choose. Interference with future opportunities. Baby girl, you're supposed to get your ducks in a row and handle that business. Now, I'm talking for real. I'm not tripping off nobody's opinion in the comment section as I'm starting to press these buttons and trigger y'all off. I'm not worried about that. I made my decisions like 40 say. E40 say, everybody got choices. Everybody got choices. And if you don't make the right choice, guess what's going to happen? You're going to pay a certain consequence that's not suitable to the outcome you was looking for. Now, this what really got me too. The age group of these people. 20 to 24-year-olds are the highest age group to have abortions at 33.6%. Once again, a person not even, an adult not even mature till the age of 25, 26. So you got 20, 24-year-olds, the same era around college, having these abortions, scared to go home and tell their mommy and their pappy that they pregnant. Listen to this. This what really got me too. So going back to the whole reason, the popular opinion that poor women and women of color are the most disproportionately targeted when it comes to abortion. White women at 38.7% was the highest amount of race that got the abortions done, followed by black women at 27.6, Hispanic women at 24.8, Asian at 5.5, and other at 3.4. So somebody tell me what's up with these numbers. The last thing, or last two things, educational. This what really got me. You mean to tell me that 20 to 24 age group are college graduates with associate's degrees, and the college graduate or associate degree is at 40.9%. So 40.9% of women with college degrees are the ones having abortions. So what are they learning in school, y'all? Where is the wisdom and what is actually being taught? Now, when it comes to income, 100% federal poverty level, great less than the 100% federal poverty level at 49.3%. So look, y'all, this is hilarious, but it's not, because at the beginning of the day, it was always about precious life, and that's why I asked the question. Well, what about the babies? What about the babies? Because if a woman has a right to kill off the life and offspring that she is carrying, that's death and murder, and it's murder by numbers. I pray for all of these young sisters and these women out here who have multiple bodies on their hands. What about the babies? And then got the nerve to say they ready to start a family and wonder why the baby coming out twisted up that they do decide to bring forward. Soul and spirit beautiful in these little babies that they decide to bring forward. Don't get me wrong, but it's something gonna be up with them physically, and I hate to see it. Now, what about the babies? Okay, listen, I done hit y'all with the truth as far as I know how, raw and uncut. I done gave you numbers, statistics, and I done gave you spiritual reasons behind it. A man who have multiple children is like a warrior with arrows in his quiver is food. Listen, y'all, these babies is a blessing. And I'm so thankful that the court, U.S. Supreme Court, in the wisdom of an elder, then turned over this decision and then made it illegal across the whole nation for women to have abortions. Now, it might be some women running around here that want to go in and get aborted, all right, want to go have these babies aborted, and they're going to have to pay a price for that. Like these booty injections and these plastic surgeries behind the scenes. Yep, it's going to be a price to pay. That ain't going to stop them. And just like it ain't going to stop them from keeping their legs open. But listen, we have a chance to get these babies birthed and get them back on earth the way that they're supposed to be. Listen, I love y'all to life. It's your bro True Jew tapping in with y'all the only way I know how. Most High Mama Papa willing, I'll be back with some more. But until then, stay vigilant, stay strong, and stay vigilant again. Gone.